I'm Melissa Robinson, and this is Henry Talks, and it's a special edition of Henry Talks because I have two very important guests, the backbone of projects in Henry County, Lynn Planchon, Capital Projects Director, and Roque Romero, our Public Works Cluster Lead, SPLOST Director, wears a lot of hats. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Lynn, let me start with you just a little bit. You've been with the county for how long?
Over 20 years.
Okay, a lot of experience. And right now your role, and has been for a while, is to do the capital projects. And
Yes.
you're a machine when it comes to that. You've got a great reputation. You've done a lot of great work.
Appreciate that.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, I take pride in what we do
Good.
for the community.
And should, yeah, absolutely. Roque, I'm going to switch it over to you. How long have you been here?
Next February is going to be 23 years.
23 years?
With the county, yes.
You must have come right out of college, Roque.
Yes, let's go with that.
Georgia Tech, is it?
Yes.
Oh, very
Georgia
proud,
Tech.
right? Okay,
Oh,
great.
yes. Thank you.
All right, so today we're going to talk about SPLOST because SPLOST 6 is on the election ballot.
Correct.
Coming
Next week.
and then we've had early voting. So with SPLOST, the county has a SPLOST program. It's a penny sales tax generated from people who buy goods and services in Henry County, and it goes into what I would say a pot of money to help fund capital and transportation projects. Have I encapsulated that the right way?
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So tell me, so this is our 6th iteration of SPLOST.
That's correct.
So when people see this on the referendum, and we don't tell people how to vote or what to vote for, but we just educate on what it is and what it has been able to accomplish in the county. So with SPLOST 6, it's a penny sales tax, and so it's a continuation. It's not a new tax.
That's correct. Continuation.
Tell a little bit. Just talk about that.
So currently our SPLOST 5 is a 5-year
Don't
program.
break the fourth wall. Look at me. Okay. Go ahead. You're good. Don't cut.
Cut.
No.
Okay. So SPLOST 5 is a 5-year program, our current SPLOST. This program is going to be a 6-year program.
Okay.
We had an intergovernmental agreement with the cities. That's the reason we have an extra year.
Okay.
Which helps us to bring additional funds.
And then, so when you have an intergovernmental agreement, it's not just county that benefits from the SPLOST or gets to use that money. It's the 4 cities.
The 4
also.
cities, and not only that, we have projects that are joint projects with the cities. So, it's not only cities doing the projects by themselves,
Right.
but the county helping each other. And it's good.
That's key. I always say collaboration is key. That's my little tagline, breaking the fourth wall. But collaboration is so important, especially in our environment, because lines cross, and there's projects that don't just end at a county boundary.
Correct.
Can you talk about some of the projects that we've done in collaboration with some of the cities, or anything coming up?
Coming up, we have the McDonough Parkway.
Okay.
That's actually goes county, city, county. So that's one project that we have. We also have Patrick Henry. Henry is, as you know, runs parallel to the I-75.
Right.
And that's a project that we're going to be doing the design with the city of Stockbridge. So
okay. Is that being expanded? Is that?
It is.
Okay.
It's going to expand to a 4-lane. On our SPLOST 3, that's when we actually did the section that takes you from bridge over the creek, the creek, and it has a bridge. All that was done back in 2007. So now there's a need to add the other 2 lanes.
Okay.
Basically, you're driving on what is the future northbound. So we're going to be designing southbound.
What you mentioned is important because I think we forget sometimes. There have been so many projects that have been funded under SPLOST, and we do forget. I mean, you've been here a long time. I've been here a while. Tell us some of these projects that maybe people have forgotten about that were made possible under SPLOST. And I know we talk about a lot of facilities.
Yes, for capital, a lot of facilities. So we currently have 16 fire stations within the county, and 12 of those 16 were funded by SPLOST.
That's a lot.
We have 5 recreation centers currently. All 5 were funded by SPLOST.
What do we have? We have Bear Creek.
We have Bear Creek. We have Fairview. We have J.P. Mosley.
Right.
We have Locust Grove.
And Heritage.
And no, I'm going blank.
You're going blank on that one.
I am. I should have had my list ready.
Oh, sorry.
North Mount Carmel. Did you mention that one?
I did not.
Oh, that's
know.
the new.
Well,
Yes,
That's the new one.
that
And that's
one-
include.
that
That's
one
also
is
that's a current one
currently
under construction.
Yes.
on time and
on
looking
time.
spectacular.
Very
like-
beautiful. It's a complete, and Lynn did a great job.
Yeah.
The design is completely different. It's state of the art.
Beautiful. Yes.
Lynn, I'm going to tell you what about Lynn. When I first met Lynn, Lynn was the person who, there was no roles, there was no jobs that she wasn't willing to do. She'd be carrying the shovels, shoveling the dirt, and inspired me back then. When I saw her, I was
definitely.
like, this lady's got it going on. I loved it. That you didn't, there was no boundaries for you. So I've seen how you work for the
I'm
last.
hands-on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, I love that. But it's Mount Carmel. I understand is coming along beautifully and will be ready to open. I'm not sure what the date is, but it's on time. So
Probably late winter, early spring.
Early spring.
okay, and it's gonna that's gonna make that park so amazing because there's so many other amenities at that park, and it's gonna be really beautiful.
It is.
So go ahead, tell us a couple more facilities that have been made possible.
We have 5 libraries,
Right?
all 5 funded by SPLOST.
Yeah, that's great.
And our senior centers, we have 4 senior centers, and all 4 were funded by SPLOST, which we have Heritage Senior Center, we have Hidden Valley Senior Center,
Right.
we have the Senior Center in Hampton, Bear Creek,
Right.
and then we have the Senior Center in Locust Grove.
Okay.
And on SPLOST 6, we have a replacement senior center up in Fairview for Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley is one of our oldest
Right.
senior centers.
That's that's really exciting, and I think that was in response to during the SPLOST process. It's a long process to get a SPLOST referendum on the ballot. So you hold meetings and you have a committee formed
Correct.
of people who can reach out to their communities to find out what they want. And that was a big ask. They wanted a new senior center to replace the aging facility, and it's going to be state of the art, I'm sure.
It
It's
is.
going to be beautiful.
Yes.
So that's very exciting for the seniors and well deserved because we take care of our seniors and it's important. So the 4 senior centers, the libraries, and then a multitude of parks.
Yes, absolutely. New parks, improvements to existing parks. J.P. Mosley has been the recipient, having fields added, having
Right.
disc golf
golf.
added. There's now 36 holes of disc golf at J.P. Mosley.
And that's it's gotten very popular.
Very
Not as
popular.
popular as pickleball, but
Right.
I don't know about that.
So we'll
Right.
save pickleball for another time. but,
Yes.
no, it is. It's great, and some of all of our parks are beautiful, and the ones that aren't. There's going to be a master plan for. So I think that's important
That's
for
right.
people to know that when you have a plan, then you can make arrangements to get the funding to figure out what you need, what your community wants. And so I think that's SPLOST really is about asking the community what they need and what they want, and then finding a way to make it happen. Right?
Absolutely.
Correct.
So transportation, that's
Yes.
I'm telling you, transportation is on everyone's mind in Henry County, and because
is.
and here's the thing, here's the caveat. People love to come here. They love to move here and to be here because it is a beautiful county. But we have to keep up with that growth through our
That's right.
infrastructure. So talk a little bit about maybe if SPLOST 6 is approved, what would be coming from that?
Okay. So one of the things I think we need to talk about how much funding we're going to be estimating.
Yeah, no,
receive.
great, yes.
So we're looking at $470 million total.
$470 million from 1 penny sales tax.
From 1 penny sales tax
Over 6 years.
and about for 6 years, and the county portion is going to be about it's split 68% county, 32 cities.
Great.
So the county portion is going to be about $319 million.
Wow. I mean,
So it's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot,
It
which
is.
it's needed. We have about roughly we're looking at $260 million that is going to go towards transportation alone.
Wow. That's good.
Which
to
is
hear.
good.
Yeah.
Which is good. And we have about each district is going to get about $43 million towards transportation projects for the districts.
Just for transportation.
Just for transportation,
Okay.
over 43. And resurfacing, I know we get a lot of calls about potholes and
Right.
roads that are not in good shape. We're looking about $63 million towards resurfacing alone
Oh, wow.
throughout the county. So that's a lot of money that we can, and that's
is,
something
yeah.
that we don't have to design. We don't have to buy right away. We can go as soon as if hopefully if it passes,
Yeah.
we can go out and by this summer put all these roads out for bid and
Right.
and resurface.
So what's important to remember about the resurfacing projects is over time, roads start to deteriorate. They can
They
be
do.
perfect, but we have a lot of traffic. We have a lot of people on the roads, and so you do have to maintain them. Maintenance is so important.
You do, and give you an example. We did Eagles Landing with SPLOST 3.
Okay.
We went from 2-lane to 4-lane.
Right.
Eagles Landing, Hudson Bridge, all that was done over 12 years ago.
And that moves so well. I think that really does move
but
well.
it needs resurfacing now.
No.
Because it moves great.
Yeah,
It's an
great.
awesome project that we did 12 years ago. We completed it. But there's a lot of traffic. And like you mentioned, the asphalt, the top layer has a lifespan.
Right.
And it has already passed that. So that's one of the projects that we're joining with the city of Stockbridge.
Okay, great.
To be able to resurface that.
Yeah, it's like a house or a car. It can be in great shape, but you have to maintain.
You have to maintain
So
it,
yeah, I think
yes.
that's so important. Talk about, is there anything else coming up in the possible SPLOST 6 that would be interesting?
I think yes. I think one very interesting project will be the Willow Lane widening.
Okay.
Widening Willow Lane from Bridges all the way to Jonesboro Road.
So where the newer roundabout, there's a newer
Correct.
roundabout.
There's a new roundabout.
Which, by the way, works perfectly.
Yes.
The traffic just goes through so easily.
Right.
So is it near there?
So it's basically starts from there, going north all the way to Jonesboro Road.
Okay.
That's a 4-lane.
Wow.
There's a segment that is 4-lane, but it's not all the way through. So we're going to make
Right.
it 4-lane. There's a school. There's a new elementary school.
Is it Birch Creek?
I believe it's Birch Creek.
Right,
yes.
elementary, good.
So that would help that as well. We're looking at airline extension. Airline extension design has been completed. So this will fund the right away in the construction, and airline extension will take you where airline ends all the way to State Route 81.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to give you a good north-south connectivity. You don't have to go to the square,
Right.
to go north. So you can take, everybody who lives on the east side of the county can take airline.
So this is, when you're coming out with transportation projects, it's not Roque Romero coming out with them.
No.
It's input from GDOT, RDOT, people, citizens,
yes.
businesses. So it's really
And-
finding the places that are troublesome and fixing them.
And fixing them.
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's great. And I also think there's a misconception when it comes to any project, especially transportation, that you decide to build a road and you build it. But there's so many steps to getting to it, and that's really just to be fair to everyone, to make sure that we're using our money properly. There's right of way, which I know I never knew what it was before I worked here. Right of way acquisition is when you have to ask people to sell you their property.
Right.
And sometimes people don't want to sell it, or they think it's worth a lot more than it is.
And it's a process.
It is.
It's a process. I think a lot of citizens, like you said, misconception, the SPLOST pass, let's start the road tomorrow. And it is a process. You have to design the project, design it, then acquire right away.
Right.
Utility relocation design as well.
Right.
And then the longest part is acquiring right away.
Yeah, and that's the part you don't see, so it's hard for people to kind of, you can't visualize acquiring right away. They can see machines moving and progress,
Correct.
but the longest part is the part that's all kind of paperwork and
The part that people don't see,
Right,
and it takes time. So, just to touch real quick on some projects that we're acquiring right away,
Okay.
like people can't see, but
Right.
we are moving. It is progressing. Is State Route 81.
Okay.
We're buying right away. We're about 65% on that. That's a project that is going to 4-lane 81, which is a state route.
Right.
But we're not waiting for the state to provide the funds. We actually using SPLOST money.
Okay. We love the state. They're great
Oh,
partner
yeah,
with us,
we
but
do.
sometimes we have to
and
push it along a little bit.
And they actually contributing towards it through some grants that we apply.
Okay.
But we're looking at bidding this project next November.
Oh, wow, that's great.
And you got Rockaway Road. Everybody knows where the hospital is.
Yes.
Rockaway. We're done with that right away on that. We're getting the final steps on environmental. So hopefully by early next year, we'll put it out for bid. So that's a big project that we have.
That's the medical hub, and so it is getting increasingly
it is.
busy with traffic and with businesses.
When it's widened, they're expanding the hospital. The hospital, if you've gone by there's a big old crane out there. So
yeah.
so
Yes.
it's going to bring more patients. So we want to definitely help with the traffic flow with the widening.
That's great. I think that's wonderful. And we talk about transportation projects help with economic development. Capital projects help with economic development.
Yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about, besides your capital projects hat, you also wear a hat at the airport, which is airport manager or director or
Yes.
or guru of airports.
Yeah.
So, and the
Everything
airport
airport.
and the airport really has come a long way since we acquired it. And under your leadership, you've seen a lot of changes, and has become an economic engine. Is that fair to say?
It is absolutely 100% fair to say. And I know the citizens may wonder, well, what benefit is the airport? I don't fly, but it actually generates revenue where the county benefits. The general fund benefits from the ad valorem taxes of the aircraft that are based there.
Wow.
All fuel sales, all the sales generated from there when people fly in, businesses fly in there to visit the businesses that they own within the county.
Right.
So there's DOT did a study about 3-4 years ago, and even then it was estimated to have a value of about $17 million.
Wow.
In the economic.
That's huge.
Driver,
That's
so.
huge. And I think I want to also, I know that since you've been managing it, there have been a lot of businesses opening around the airport aviation school, I think, and just, I don't know if they've opened or if they've just flourished, but there's a lot of opportunity for people who are interested in aviation.
Oh, absolutely. You can learn to fly planes. We have several individuals on the airport that have aircraft for people to rent, and they
Wow.
are certified instructors, so you can
That's
learn to
great.
fly. You can. We have a Tier 1 helicopter. They can teach you how to fly a helicopter. And also I want to mention that Army Aviation Heritage Foundation is located on the airport, and they educate the public on the Army history and aviation, and you can see their aircraft that they've restored. They give, they don't give, but it helps them stay operational. But you can purchase tickets to ride on a Huey or even on a
That's
Cobra.
great, yes.
So it's
nice.
a lot of people don't know that that's there, and it's
Right.
important that people understand that there's things that you can do
Oh,
out at the
yeah.
airport. Or if you just love airplanes and you want to come out and watch people take off and land, we have a beautiful patio you can sit and watch.
So
That's
people
right.
can come to the airport, the FBO. I'm not crying. You're not making me cry.
Good.
Allergies.
Did the airport
People
make you
watch
cry?
this know that I have a tearing issue, but can people come into the FBO and inquire about what's around, and do you give them the resources and the
Absolutely.
references?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
great.
would love for people are welcome. It's open to the public, and people can absolutely come into the FBO and ask questions, and we'll be more than happy to help them.
And I want to talk a little bit, and kind of switching gears on this. I recently spoke with Laura Luker at the CBB, and she heads up the tourism arm of the chamber. And she sent me some interesting information. And so when we talk about the SPLOST initiative, it's a 1% sales tax. It's a penny on every dollar. It's a continuation. It's not a new tax. It's something we've had since when?
1996.
1996. But unlike property taxes, the SPLOST penny is generated from goods and services purchased in Henry County, right?
That's correct.
Absolutely.
So we live here, we buy groceries, we buy gas, but also people who work here, people who visit, and even people who pass through. And we have I-75. And how many interchanges?
We got not only I-75, we also have 675. And we have 7 interchanges in the
right.
county, and one more coming in the future.
Oh, right.
The Bethlehem interchange.
So it's fair to say that if you're passing through, it's easy to stop in Henry County, buy your gas, eat at a restaurant, buy your snacks. So all of this adds up, that one little penny.
Oh, it goes a long
Because
way.
you give a big figure for SPLOST 6, but it's that one little penny.
One penny.
That everybody kind of contributes to. And I don't know if it's most, but there's many counties in Georgia. Out of 159, there's several counties that have some form of SPLOST. So
Correct.
when you're traveling to that county or buying things, going shopping, you're contributing to their SPLOST programs
Yes.
and their roads and their capital. So
correct.
I just think it's important for people to understand what that means. You know, it's not a tax on your property. That's what we avoid with that. But
Right, and the main thing is it's a continuation. It's not.
Right.
It's nothing new.
Right.
It's the same percent sales. It's 8% now, and it's going to be 8%
right.
after.
Right, there's not going to
So,
be, So
no,
I think
yeah.
it is important, and I think that's where the education piece comes in.
Correct.
Try to let people
Absolutely,
know,
yes.
what's going on with that. Well, I think this is No, yes. You have something else, please?
I got one.
Please.
Well, and the main thing is to educate the citizens in
Yeah,
Henry County
absolutely, yes.
and be transparent. You know, and I think one of the things I will invite all the citizens to go to our website.
All right. I'm glad I almost forgot that. I'm glad you said that.
I know you forgot.
Yes.
That's why I want to mention
Yes.
it. That so I know Lynn knows the website, so I'll let her plug in the.
Well, if you go to the county's main website, which
Henry
is
County
henrycountyga.gov,
Okay.
There
great.
you go.
and you
.gov.
go to departments and then click on SPLOST, and then you can see everything for every SPLOST.
Correct.
If you want to see what we've done from SPLOST 1 through
Through
SPLOST
5.
5,
Wow.
it lists the projects, it lists what was spent, it lists everything, and then you can also click on, there's a button that
On
you
the
can
very
click
top.
on that will take you to
Our ClearGov, which
to
is
ClearGov that
shows
gives
all
you-
our current capital and transportation projects.
That really
Yeah.
does break
And
it
the
down.
and
status.
that one,
It gives you
that one is
yeah.
very specific. It shows pictures,
Yeah.
drawings, so people can see what we're doing.
Right. And that's great. Yeah. So go and research it. You know, Google
Yes.
SPLOST, check out that website, see what's going on, see what has occurred in the past and what's hopefully coming in the future. But just the more that we know, I think the more that we can make that decision.
We do, and we have a lot of projects right now under construction and more
Right.
coming on the pipeline. So that'd be a great place for citizens to see what we're doing.
It's interesting. I've gone back on that page and looked at projects that I forgot were SPLOST projects. Like I came upon them and I'm like, oh wow, that was like it just kind of it's surprising and you remember
Correct.
things about it. So
I would like to touch on some of the highlights on SPLOST 6 for capital.
yeah.
Because I don't think we really hit on that. And I want everyone to know that we have public safety equipment and facilities on
Yeah.
there.
That's right.
We have a new animal shelter, much
Yes.
needed new animal shelter.
Near and dear to my
The existing animal shelter was a SPLOST project.
SPLOST, correct.
And it's pretty much lived its lifespan, and so we need a larger facility.
Definitely much bigger.
The animal shelter, the county provides that service to everyone in the county.
Right.
So
All the cities.
like each city doesn't have their own shelter,
That's
so
right.
the county handles all of that. So we need a larger. And technology has improved,
Right,
and
right.
as far as air quality and such. So we definitely want to get that new facility going in SPLOST 6.
Yes.
We have. I think we touched on the Hidden Valley Senior Center replacement.
Very important. Right.
Very
And there's
important.
also funding to design a new center. The location has not been determined, but we do have design for an additional new center.
Okay, great.
And you touched on the comprehensive parks master
Yes.
plan. So there is funding within SPLOST. So all the high priority items that were identified in that plan will be able to get done.
Get done.
Yes,
yeah.
they're-
Yeah.
these are
Move
these are
forward,
really
yeah.
great. And I do have to talk about the animal shelter because
That's where you get your dogs, right?
yeah, so I got one of them.
One of them,
yes.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so they do an amazing job. I
Yes,
mean,
they
the staff is incredible and they do such a great job, but they still have a very small facility for the needs.
Right.
And unfortunately, need grows as this county grows. And it's not just dogs and cats. They have
Yes.
horses and donkeys.
pigs,
So
all kind of wild animals. Yeah.
and they don't turn people away and they don't tell you no, they can't. They always are willing to help, and they, when you talk about animal control, sometimes that gets a rep of like, oh, mean dog catcher. Animal control, they are the most compassionate people and can do wonders. Hopefully they'll get that new facility, but I think it's really important that we take care of that as well. So people some people wonder, well, why is it so important? But it is. It is very important to make sure that our animals are safe and that our county is safe too, because they help
That's
with
right.
even dangerous animals and make sure they take them. So I just give them a little plug. They do an amazing job,
They do.
just like you guys do an amazing
Oh,
job.
thank you.
So.
Thank
Aw,
you.
thank you.
So yeah, looking forward to it. So this is on the referendum for Tuesday on Election Day, and it's been for early voting. So people just need to kind of look it up, educate, and like
Educate.
make a decision.
That's
But
right.
I think it's important to. Oh wait, did I talk about the tourism part? I did talk. Oh, what I
did.
didn't say about tourism was that what I got from the CVB
Yes.
was that tourism, loose figures estimate, $504 million is generated by tourism spending.
Wow.
So understand, as much as I buy everything in Henry County pretty much, there are people coming here,
and
staying
spending.
in hotels. Yeah, so it really is spread across. It's something that
It
is
is.
not going to affect, a
Right.
homeowner per se, but
Correct.
except when they're buying things. So, no, I think this has been a good conversation. I'm so glad you guys took the time to come see us and talk about this, and hopefully you'll come back and talk more about the airport for your next fly-in.
Absolutely, yes. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
love to.
And Rocky, when you start breaking ground on some projects, let me know so we
I
can be
will.
out there. That'd be
I
great.
will.
So I want to thank you guys for being here,
Thank you.
and I want to thank you all for listening or watching, because Henry cares and Henry is committed
Committed.
to you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, and we'll see you.